Hey everybody, Coach Reality here with another 1v1 analysis, and this time we're here with Apathetic, so let's go ahead and get things started. It's a good touch by your opponent here. Let's see how we can play this differently. Honestly, that hesitation, I think, is what killed you. I might just try to creep up a little bit closer initially on your line here. Instead of, like, stopping and turning back to give them space, just challenging their line, because Aunt Jemima's recognizing that distance that they have, and just taking advantage by playing it vertically over you. Figure out why this is a weak shot here. Oh, it basically just because it's a side dodge. You want to make sure that you're bringing the power of your card through the ball instead of just like across the bottom. Okay, so here it's a good attempt. And I think, yeah, you're side dodging, so you're kind of committing yourself to the line that you have. Try to bring yourself a little bit farther over, like, just keep using that boost, like, right away with your jump, so you can take a line over them, and then just, play your card through that. It's a good bump by your opponent there. Another nice shot from your opponent. Let's try to see how we can play this differently. Really, I would just try to stay closer to the ball initially. There's a lot of space here. I would try to keep a presence on it. Otherwise, you see here when you go to this boost, yeah, you have boost now, but now Aunt Jemima basically has the entirety of your half of the pitch to work with this ball, and is, you know, just watching to see what you're doing. You could have saved that, though. I think you know, but you just backflipped too early from that. I think it is because you tried to do your second jump, because you might know you just want to basically do a fast aerial into the ball. Just hit it from the underside and out. Good touch there. A little risky to go for a freestyle-esque approach to the ball, but you won't be punished there. Oh, that touch is pretty far out away from you here. One, I would try to make sure that you know exactly where your opponent is here. You know, just use your cam and flick it around really quick, but you'd basically just want to drive around with that instead of touching it off the wall. Because when you touch it, you'll be against the wall, and the ball will be going away from you, but also towards where your opponent already is. Attempt. So let's try to figure out why this wasn't as successful as you would have liked. I think you're kind of doing it too quickly off the front of your car there. Oh boy. So basically, when you get this on top of your car, you want to have it on the front, but you also want to have time to, like, roll it with your car when you do your flick, so you get that touch. If you notice here, when you make this first jump here, it's pushing your car down like that, because the ball is, like, completely on the front of your car. So when you make the touch on the ball is also creating a force downward on the front of your car, and it's knocking it away. So it's important to make sure that you're incorporating a little bit of boost beforehand to just roll it back a tiny bit. That way you're just preventing the ball from smashing the front end of your car down with your touch. Good job challenging that. So initially you do a good job shadowing here. But I might get a little farther away. You're pretty close here, and it's kind of obvious that your opponent's going to flick it over. So the closer you are to them, the harder it's going to be to you to react to their touch. So if we tap this back a little bit farther, you know, you start shadowing here, which is great, but once you're around like this close, you know, you should be recognizing that they still have the ball on top of their car. So it means they're probably just going to play it high and over you. So just keep using your boost to get back. Here you stop using your boost, and you're kind of closing that gap, and you're making it even harder on yourself to reach the ball in the first place. So try to make sure that you're keeping your momentum there. Give yourself more speed when you do go up for the ball. This is kind of a risky challenge to go for. It's kind of I don't want to say it's like completely obvious that your opponent's going to get another touch here. But what's important is you can keep pressure and force your opponent to make that touch without jumping, just by driving towards them. Because jumping is a pretty active challenge there. So try to keep the pressure on while keeping your car on the ground so you're able to react to those things. Because your recovery time is going to be pretty rough when you're jumping out of that ball. And again, you're sort of side dodging into the challenge there, so you're going to lose that. Yeah, you basically have to get up from this point. The longer you wait, the more time Jemima has to work with that. You just gotta get up in the air right away and just challenge them, get in their face. Seems like you're just underestimating what your opponent's able to do here. This is a decent attempt. I might wait a little bit longer, because your opponent should be reading this and understanding that you're going to play it up. And you see how Jemima distances their car from that? And this dodge is also kind of unnecessary. I know you want to get more force on this, but you see, because of the difference in recovery time, how you're completely knocked to their end of the net there. Especially when your opponent's ready, like Jemima was there, try to just slow play it a little bit more around them. You know, don't give them exactly what they're looking for. So here, oh, you're just dodging them. Might be too late. Let's just slow this down. So you make your line and you get to the ball. Really, you kind of just want to drift into this. You're doing your side dodge here with a lot of forward momentum, so you're not allowing your car to reach that ball in time. Make sure you're incorporating like a tighter turn into that when you're doing your dodge. So if we look at this attempt here, you're boosting enough to get under it, but again, it's sort of just tapping your car down and you're not able to follow it up the way you would like to. So with how Aunt Jemima was approaching that, I don't know if I'd even try to flick this up, especially with how far on the front of your car it is. I would probably just keep playing it around them, sort of rushing your shots instead of, you know, like trying to just choke them up on what they're expecting, because, you know, better players will be able to understand the line of approach that you're taking and be able to react to it. Yeah, that's going to choke you up there. I think you're still trying too quickly to make a play on this ball. I really don't think you should be jumping for this. You just want to stay on the ground and work the ball around laterally, because you see here this entire time you're directly behind the ball. So it's really easy for Jemima to know where you're going to play it, because you're not incorporating any lateral movement into it. There's no ambiguity with any of your touches, so it's just making it really easy for them to read. Good job slow playing that and working with their line. Getting a little too far ahead of this. So I don't even know if I would make that first touch up there. You're kind of, again, just working directly behind the ball here. So Jemima's looking at you and coming from the left side down, like into that. And you see how they're waiting and not committing to it. But if you look here, you see that you're dodging, or not dodging, you're boosting too much so that you're getting too far directly under the ball. So when you make your touch, you're now too far ahead of it, and you sort of have to recover. So you want to make sure that you're using your boost to just match your speed with the ball and not getting under it. So yeah, you should not be boosting at this point. That's what's causing yourself to get too far under that ball. And that's just really easy for Jemima to follow up and punish. You will get one more though. Good dribble. Alright, thanks for sending this in, Apathetic. Be sure to leave a like if this helped you out at all, and I will be seeing you guys around. Thanks.